Day 31, verses 34 to 36, the cost of inaction. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. In the previous verses, Krishna brought clarity to the idea of duty and the importance of acting in alignment with it. Today, he explores another dimension of turning away from action. He discusses how stepping away from what we know is right begins to affect us both within and in the world around us. People will call you a coward and a deserter. For a respectable person, infamy is worse than death. Having spoken about the philosophical consequences of inaction, Krishna then moves to the idea of honor. When we act in alignment with what we understand to be right, there is a natural sense of integrity that follows. We live with our head held high, with our self-respect intact. But when we turn away from it, that sense begins to weaken. Dishonor in this context is not merely about what others say. It is about the awareness within us that we did not stand where we needed to. For someone who has lived with clarity and respect, this inner turmoil can feel heavier than any external consequence. A reputation may exist in the eyes of others, but its roots lie in how we see ourselves. And when that begins to shift, it creates a deeper form of discomfort than anything imposed from outside. The great generals who hold you in such high esteem so far will think that you fled from the battlefield out of fear and will lose their respect for you. Actions do not exist in isolation. They shape how we are perceived by others, especially by those who understand our capabilities, those who have seen us at our best. When we step away from our responsibility, it is often interpreted as hesitation or fear, even if our intention is different. Over time, this changes how others relate to us and how much trust they place in our actions. We must recognize that our choices carry weight, both internally and externally. When we do not act in alignment with our own nature, it creates a gap between who we are and how we show up in the world. Your enemies will defame you and humiliate you with cruel words and mock your bravery. Alas, what could be more painful than that? Krishna highlights another layer to inaction. When we step away from action, it does not remain unnoticed. It often invites judgment, criticism, and doubt from others. But the deeper discomfort is not in what others say. It lies in the fact that somewhere within we recognize the gap between our potential and our action. External criticism only reflects what we may already sense internally. This is why it feels painful. Not because others are speaking ill of us, but because there is a part of us that knows we did not fully step into what we were capable of. Krishna is not using these consequences to pressurize Arjuna. He is making Arjuna see the larger picture. Avoidance may seem easier in the moment, but it often carries a weight that stays longer than the action we tried to avoid. In our own lives, we face moments where we know what is required of us. These moments often come quietly, without announcements, and they ask us to step forward in some way. Many times we do what needs to be done. Sometimes we turn away, either because what needs to be done is hard or not what we want to do at that moment. When we avoid taking action, we may feel temporary relief, But over time, there is often a lingering sense that something was left incomplete. It may not be visible to others, but internally it creates a subtle discomfort, a feeling of heaviness. On the other hand, when we act in alignment with what we understand, even if it is uncomfortable, there is a sense of stability that follows. It is not dependent on success or failure. It comes from knowing that we did not turn away, that we did our best. Thought of the day. In the battlefield of your life today, take a quiet moment and reflect gently. Is there something I have been avoiding, even though I know it matters? What is the cost of not acting beyond the immediate moment? How would I feel if I chose to act in alignment with what I already understand? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May you find the strength to stand where you need to and the wisdom to recognize what truly matters.